Slap me silly and call me Susan. It's Harmless Phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is Peep Show activist Throw Smiley. Today, I am joined by...
I'm Josh Cece, and I want to know how that lesbian necrophiliac story is coming.
I'm Brian Lesh, and somebody should help that lady.
No, this is not Kimberly. It's Alaric Weber.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, and then we tell you all about it. This week, we are watching Blankman.
In a city plagued with crime, nobody moves. When hope is gone and help is out of reach.
Please help me.
Hey, get off the car, you bum! Only one man can stand in the way of evil.
Look! I'm a crime fighter!
No man
Get ready to rumble!
has ever been so bold. No crime fighter so brave.
Wanna try it again, pal? Why don't you shoot him in the head? Yeah! Shoot him in the head! Uh-oh.
Save yourself. There's no point in us all dying.
I'll never forget you, my love.
And no crusader has inspired so many.
It's a big world, and we all have to do our part.
Columbia Pictures presents
I have to make the world a safer place for my children.
You got to be with the woman first! You a virgin!
Well,
Damon Wayans,
please, call me Blankman.
Blankman. Now, stand back. Because these guys
Blank suits!
are what the world's been waiting for.
Did you find a bomb?
Yeah, but not the one we're looking for.
Damon Wayans,
Hang on, I'm coming down!
We're gonna have to deliver this baby.
Can't do that. We'll have to see her thing.
David Allen Greer,
Kevin, I can't. What? Talk lane to the buckle.
I would love to play with you, but now is not the time.
and introducing J5.
My plan serves me correctly. J5 should be gingerly on his way.
Blankman.
Slapped me around and called me Susan.
I warned you, Susan!
Blankman.
I warned you, Susan.
I can't believe that made the
I
trailer.
I know. Damn, I should have used that as my...
I warned you, Susan.
I warned you, Susan. I told you not to make that casserole.
Blankman. Released August 19th. Hey, day before my birthday, 1994. With a running time of 96 minutes, a budget of $30 million. It made $7 million.
Oh.
Wah, wah.
I thought this had a... Oh, okay.
And it is once again time to play Box Office.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe higher, but 7 million.
Yeah, $7
Off
million.
a 30 million budget.
For the week of August 19th, 1994, we are going to see what the top 10 box office was. Gentlemen, do you have a guess where Blankman ended up?
Okay. So now I got to rethink. I'll go with 7.
9.
11.
Ooh,
off the
ow,
charts.
bucking the trend.
That's bold.
All right. So for the week of August 19th, 1994, Blankman comes in at 12.
Oh, so close.
Damn.
So close.
Did not make it. It was beat by In the Army Now,
Oh, man.
Jurassic Park, The Client.
Wait, was Jurassic Park on the charts the last 2 shows we
Yeah,
watched?
Jurassic Park.
Or
was-
3? Was it on the last 2 shows we watched or the last 3?
Well, it was released in 1993.
Uh-huh.
It's been in the top 10 for almost a year now.
Nice.
It really
Way
is.
to go,
It's a
Jurassic
good
Park.
park.
It's a great experience. You should go there sometime. Well, why hasn't someplace opened a Jurassic Park theme park?
Jurassic Park was very immersive.
Well, there's
I
a
found.
there's a ride at Universal.
Well, yeah, but number 8 was the. I'm sorry, number 9 was
wants
The
more?
Client. The Lion King, The Little Rascals, True Lies, Andre. I don't know what that is. Color of Night. Number 3, The Mask, still sticking in there.
All right.
Number 2, Clear and Present Danger. And the number 1 movie is Forrest Gump.
Oh, that explains
Again,
it.
it went down, it came up. This summer is all about Gump.
So it's a matter of choosing your flavor of simpleton.
It's the summer of
It was
Gump.
the summer of Gump. Yeah.
I was talking about that last time.
Yeah.
There was a summer of Gump.
Is this the year that Simple Jack
Nauseating.
came out in the
Right?
Tropic Thunder universe?
This movie has a long and storied comic book history, Al.
Yes. It was not a comic book.
That is a
That is the long and storied
It
history
was an educational
behind
pamphlet.
the comics of this movie.
it
Well,
was
damn.
it was however, perhaps loosely based off the character of Handyman that Damon Wayans played on In Living Color.
Good evening, and welcome to the Justice Legions of America. As you all know, the Justice Legion recently settled an affirmative action suit brought against it by the United States. Apparently, it was felt that the Legion's membership has shown a discriminatory preference for white men and incredibly beautiful white women. As part of our settlement, without denying or admitting our guilt, I'd now like to present our newest members. Please welcome our first Jewish superhero, Beardman. Chico, the human computer, our first Oriental. And of course, the woman who originally brought the suit against us, Angry Woman, the world's only black feminist lesbian superhero. And last but not least, let's give a warm Justice League welcome for the newest handicapped superhero, Handyman.
Thank you. I'm a man of few words. And I'd like to say to all those who never believed in the power of the handicap, there's a new sheriff in town. And this is his badge.
Whoa! Up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's a giant handicap sign!
Listen, I'd love to stay and chat, but there's someone who needs my help. I'll be back. Up, and away!
Oh, I think that gives us the idea.
I knew it was going to fall out the window.
Yeah, so Handyman.
That's just...
It's never been confirmed, but there's been rumors that Damon Wayans wanted to make a Handyman movie. And they said no. And so he was like, well, okay, then how about a different kind of black superhero who's marginally on the spectrum there.
Marginally.
Yeah.
Yeah, Handyman. I remember even at the time, and not a lot of things made me cringe at that age. But yeah, that was just so hard to sit through those sketches.
Those were rough, yeah.
Was Angry Woman Kim Wayans?
It
Probably.
might have been, yeah, one of the Wayans.
Well, she was on Living Color, but then there was another female that looked similar.
I just love that she's the one that filed the suit.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the Wayans family. So Damon Wayans, of course, a member of the Wayans family, who there's 10 siblings in that initial generation of show business Wayans. We've got Dwayne, Keenan, Deidre, Damon, Kim, Elvira, Nadia, Devin, Sean, and Marlon.
Ringo.
How many of them are Marlon, though?
How many are Marlon?
They were all the same generation?
Yes, those are all siblings.
That's one. Yeah,
That's not counting the
That's one
kids.
production line.
Yeah.
The kids, Keenan was the first to break into the business. He dropped out of college to become a stand-up comedian. And then during his first set performing at the Improv of New York, he met Robert Townsend, who helped him learn about the comedy business. Townsend and Wayans, in fact, drove cross-country to L.A. together to move to L.A. in 1980. That was probably a hell of a road trip.
Wow. Yeah.
So they Townsend wrote and directed and starred in the movie Hollywood Shuffle, which we talked about before when we were doing Meteor Man. Wayans was a co-star and a co-writer on that. The movie's success allowed him to raise money to make I'm Gonna Get You, Sucka, which is a really, really good movie.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Dirty mother, watch your mouth.
Let's see. So he was then approached by Fox, the brand new up and coming network in town that wanted to do their version of Saturday Night Live, and that brought him In Living Color. In Living Color, he staffed with a number of his siblings. Damon, Kim, Sean, and Marlon were all on In Living Color. Dwayne was also on there. He didn't have a single speaking role, though. Poor Dwayne.
Yeah. Can I say something?
It also starred a number of other people who would go on to become pretty big. Jamie Foxx, Tommy Davidson, David Alan Grier, who's in this movie. Takea Crystal Kima. I don't know who that one is.
Isn't that the love interest? No.
No, that's Robin Gibbons.
Oh, Robin Gibbons. That's right.
Yeah, but and of course Jim Carrey, who would go on to become one of the biggest stars on the planet. It also introduced Jennifer Lopez. She was one of the Fly Girls.
Oh, the Fly Girls, yes.
Yeah. And Rosie Perez was the Fly Girls choreographer.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Wayans, he was on A Different World, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, sorry, that was Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne
Wade.
Those glasses.
The NBA star.
Those glasses were insane. So Damon started doing stand-up comedy in the 80s. His very first film appearance was in Beverly Hills Cop, where he played an effeminate hotel employee.
Very
this is an ongoing theme for his career.
Yeah,
playing flamboyantly gay or disabled characters.
It's famously something that African American male comics have tried to stay away from.
Mm-hmm.
Drag or
Chappelle has that whole thing that he talks about being coerced into. Just play this role in a dress.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the clownish sort of sideshow type character. But he was always willing to do that.
No, he went there. Sometimes
carved that lane out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he was cast in Saturday Night Live for the 85-86 season, and he got fired because he was supposed to be playing a cop, just
on Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live. He's supposed to be playing a cop in a sketch, just a regular cop. He was supposed to be a straight guy, but instead he played him as flamboyantly gay, improving it, and that got him fired.
Wow.
Yep.
Lorne Michaels did not like that.
As we've said before, sometimes he does the right thing by being a total idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So he was on just for 11 episodes before he got fired. So then he was on Solid Gold and off and on in the 80s. And then he got cast in A Living Color with his brother. He co-wrote this, of course, and then went on to be in movies like Mo Money. The Last Boy Scout was one of his big
action films.
Yeah, action movies. One of his like we're gonna make this guy a big superstar kind of things.
That was a popular movie.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Major Payne,
Yeah.
I know, was very popular with people I think a little younger than us.
I watched Major Payne a lot as a child with a lot of my friends.
Yeah. Bulletproof, The Great White Hype. He was in Bamboozled, and then throughout the 2000s, he was on the ABC series My Wife and Kids, which was built around him.
Damon Wayans?
Yes.
Damon Wayans, yes.
He was also on Lethal Weapon. Maybe still. That might still be running.
It actually just ended in
Oh, it
2019.
just ended.
So
Okay,
both
yeah.
Damon Wayans were on that show?
No, just the older Damon Wayans,
Oh.
So
not Junior.
I thought we had been talking about Junior
Yeah.
earlier.
not Marlon.
No,
Okay.
not Marlon.
I'm gonna keep asking that question.
Was
Damon Wayans.
Was Marlon one of the,
The
white
original.
chicks?
Yes.
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 Okay. All right.
Well, yeah, Marlon and, what is it, Sean?
Was it Marlon and Sean were the white chicks?
The two closest brothers, yeah, they made the Scary Movie movies.
Okay, so
Keenan
yeah.
and Ivory directed them. But
Yeah.
like, that was their
They-
vehicle.
they
then
were-
White Chicks.
Yeah.
Little Man.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they've pioneered the using CGI to make themselves look so uncomfortable. Like White Girls is terrifying.
Oh my God!
Oh,
It really
Uncanny
is.
Valley.
I won't even-
that movie.
I mean, I don't
Oh.
even really know the plot of the movie, but just those blue contacts.
That was CGI.
No, that was
Oh,
makeup.
okay, good. Because it,
Wait,
it
Well,
looked like
Little
it
Man
looked like
certainly
makeup,
was
yeah.
because Marlon Wayans
Oh,
is not
right.
2.5 feet
Yeah.
tall.
Oh, okay. So this movie was directed by Mike Binder, who began his career as a screenwriter and stand-up. He in March 1990, he premiered his first screenplays, Coupe de Ville, directed by Joe Roth. He was, of course, one of the guys behind Dream On
Yeah.
on HBO. He had his own HBO comedy special around that time, and then he directed Crossing the Bridge, Indian Summer, Blankman, and The Sex Monster, and that's about it.
And he's in this. He's the psychiatrist doing the Rorschach test in this movie.
Yes, yeah, and he also he co-wrote and co-directed the 2001 HBO series The Mind of the Married Man.
Oh, right. That was him.
Yeah.
The Sex Monster, that's coming up on our list, right?
Yeah.
Yes. he was
I
a
think
superhero.
Batman fights the sex monster in the next.
Well, Damon Wayans fights the sex monster a few times in this movie.
We're all sort of fighting the sex monster.
Yeah. This was co-written with Damon Wayans by J.F. Lawton, whose screen credits include Pretty Woman, not Women.
Oh, that was a big one I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard that was popular. Mistress, Under Siege 2.
Still under siege. Nobody's left yet.
The Hunted, Chain Reaction, a bunch of other bad direct-to-video stuff. But I get the feeling that he was brought in by the studio
Yes.
to be like, hey, let's make this a little more movie-like and less sketch comedy-like.
Right, exactly. You have little sketches. We need to tie it together with a little guy named John Polito.
So this did star Damon Wayans as Blankman / Daryl in the lead. We also have as young Daryl, Michael Wayans, which is Damon's son. David Alan Grier as Kevin / the other guy. Now, David Alan Grier was also on In Living Color. He got his start on National Public Radio. In the early 80s, he played an X-Wing fighter on the Star Wars audio drama version.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. He was nominated for a Tony in 1983. He played James Thunder Early in the hit Broadway musical Dreamgirls. That was later made into a movie. Yeah. He made his film debut in 1983 in a movie called Streamers, directed by Robert Altman. He was a dramatic actor. He was not a
Sounds like
comedian.
it, yeah.
Yeah, he was in A Soldier's Story, a movie called Beer.
Oh, yeah.
From the Hip. And then he started doing comedies. He was in Amazon Women on the Moon. He was cast in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, which is how he met the Wayanses. And then it was pretty much all comedy from there. He knew where his bread was buttered.
I think he was talented. I don't think he ever got to take off like he should have.
No, I like David Unger.
And now that he's older, I bet he could play some really cool characters if anyone remembered his number.
He was on an episode of Alf.
One.
Hey, he was in Elma Palooza as himself.
Hey, Bart, remember Alf? He's back.
In Pog form. Let's see. He was in Boomerang. he was in the army now. David Allen Greer,
Oh,
the top 12.
He
twice.
lost and he won.
He was in
Top 12. Good.
Hedging your
the
bets.
top 12
We wedge him in there.
Just starts
because that was 11 and 12.
Hey,
Hey, you almost made the top 10.
I don't need to eat the whole thing.
He was in Jumanji, McHale's Navy, Stuart Little. So many people have been in Stuart Little.
Not as many people as in Baby's Day Out. I'm always blown. So many people were behind that.
The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
With Jason Alexander.
The Muppets Wizard of Oz. And Bewitched.
The movie Bewitched.
The movie, yeah. Not the 60s show. Damon Wayans Jr. played young Kevin. David Wayans Jr. That's essentially... That's a very small role in this movie, but he went on to do quite a few things. He was in, The Land Before Time, The Journey of the Brave. He did a voice in Big Hero 6. He was in the Marmaduke movie, Dance Flick, Super Troopers 2, and he was in the series Happy Endings, which...
I was on that set once.
Really?
I didn't get to meet him because he was doing a scene. He and Adam Pawley and Alicia Cooper, but a couple other cast members.
That's what I meant to say. Adam Pawley. So was one of the scout troopers in that episode of The Mandalorian where they were talking about Baby Yoda.
Yeah, and the other is Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, so that was Adam Pawley in the other one. I found that out recently.
He's getting some gigs.
Yeah. But yeah, he was also in The New Girl with
Oh yeah, he was on that
with Zooey Deschanel.
And they replaced his character so he could do happy endings, and then happy endings, and I think they brought him back.
They did, yeah. He was in it for the pilot, and then instead of recasting, they just said he moved out and got a new black guy. I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's
and then
TV.
yeah, and then later on he came back on, and they were like, "Well, he's good, so we'll keep him." Now we have two black guys, so that's progress.
I heard the finale of Happy Endings was pretty tragic.
I don't know if I saw.
I actually did see it. I watched it. And it was not.
Did it not end well?
It did not. It didn't end well because they got canceled.
Right. Yeah, they didn't think it was.
We have Joe Polito back as Michael Minnelli.
Right?
John Polito.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Michael Minnelli, who we've seen before in The Crow and The Rocketeer.
Yep.
This is the biggest role he's had yet that we've
seen.
Yeah.
But he's been in Coen Brothers movies before.
Oh, yeah, he's in a ton of stuff. We've talked about his career before several times.
But yeah, if you need that,
yeah,
that's the guy to call.
Yeah. Oh, God, totally. Yeah, he is the guy. Robin Givens starred as Kimberly Jones.
All right, so I didn't look it up, but was she married to the champ at this time? Was she Mike Tyson's wife?
Not at this time.
Thank God for Damon Wayans. How terrifying that would have been, like having to kiss Mike Tyson's wife.
Ooh, boy.
I hear he didn't take things like that well.
Yeah, so, okay. So for those of you who don't know, she was married to Mike Tyson. While he was the champ during that whole period, they broke up. She alleged that he beat her.
No.
Often. Yeah, it's shocking, I know.
What?
Which he later on just said, yes, I did that. Yeah. So, yeah. He was not a good person.
But he has the voice of an angel.
Well, that's another funny thing is like Damon Wayans would do the Mike Tyson voice a lot, especially on In Living Color. So I just wondered if he was around, what that day on set was like.
To be fair, Mike Tyson has in the past decade gotten sober and stated much regret for his earlier behavior. Take that for
I
what you will.
An interview with him the other day where he was basically weeping because he spent his entire life trying to kill people.
Angry.
Yeah. He's like, I hate that guy. I don't want him to come out. And it's interesting to see somebody who is so like machismo.
Right.
Owning his past like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, shit, he did a ton of terrible shit as a
I bit Holyfield's ear off.
Right. Oh my god!
and that's like the least amongst them.
Yeah,
that's
no, that
the
was
least
like,
terrible.
he was in
It's
the
like,
ring.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
oh shit, he got real carried away fighting that.
That was
guy,
more,
but,
yeah,
like,
that was more like, well, this is gonna make it onto Carson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. I remember watching that.
we're still making
fight.
ear-biting jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
25 years later or whatever.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, and if someone can't make up for their past, then you know,
exactly.
Come on. So
Especially a guy like Mike Tyson,
that's
who
precisely
was thrust into the ring
growth.
almost as much as he, jumped into it.
Yeah,
Anyways,
trained to be a brutalizer.
Yeah.
No excuses.
but
yeah,
you didn't know much
you
else.
you can accept the penitence without forgiving the past behavior.
What was it? Bachelor party that he had the Phil Collins scene.
oh god,
Oh no, not Bachelor. Tom Hanks.
Hangover.
The Hangover.
The Hangover. Yeah,
I know.
jeez, yeah,
it was the same movie.
that punch.
Well,
I disagree.
it was. I mean,
It was not the same movie. No, not at all.
but if you run them at the same time, they sync up.
Oh yeah, like Dark Side of the Moon.
God, I don't think I've seen Bachelor Party.
But
for
you have to play Dark
30
Side of the
years.
Moon backwards.
Oh god.
So Robin,
Then the donkey comes back to life.
oh,
If you play it backwards.
Robin Givens got her start. She was in The Wiz, the '78 film version. Raging Harlem, Boomerang, Foreign Student, Dangerous Intentions, Secret. She did not have a good film career in the '90s.
And then she was on.
She
what
was
her
in
show?
Head of the Class.
Class,
She
yeah.
She had a few guest spots on the Cosby Show. And then she had
Everyone did.
yeah.
You can-
Then she for 5 years.
It's not their fault.
Yeah, for 5 years she was on Head of the Class,
Yeah,
which that
gotcha.
was 80s sitcom money. She's probably still living off that.
Yeah, and that show did well despite being Welcome Back Kotter.
Yeah, well, and they changed out, right? They had Herman, what's his face?
Herman
Hess, not Hess.
Was it? No, Herman. Yes,
Herman Mueller.
No, no, he was
Billy
on,
Connolly.
No, he was the second one.
He was the second.
Yeah,
the first
the second. The
Howard
first one is
Hessman.
Howard Hessman.
from
Thank you.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Herman Hess from WKRP.
he wrote Siddhartha, and he spins the hottest wax.
Well, yeah, Howard Hessman. Also, did any of you guys remember Dr. Detroit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked that movie.
I watched that movie so many times
Yeah.
as a child.
Dan Aykroyd's a mystery to me.
Oh my God, what is that man?
I don't know. I'm glad he's around, but I don't know.
Woo, he's something. All right, so anyways, Robin Givens, she's been on Riverdale recently.
Yeah, she was the mayor.
Of Riverdale?
I think so.
She's like, we no longer have to wear varsity shirts everywhere.
I believe she was the mayor.
Jalopies may roam free.
Sierra McCoy. She's the mother of Josie.
Of And the Pussycats?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Don't talk to me like I know what you're
Wait,
talking about.
is Josie and the Pussycats from that same universe?
Yeah, they're part of the Archie universe.
And there's a new Katie Keene
So
show
is Sabrina.
coming out.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch is, too.
That's from...
Those are all the same shared it's like the Archie MCU.
Is there anybody else that I'm missing that I didn't know about my
well,
entire life?
That's what I can think of.
Katie Keene.
Oh, Katie Keene, yeah.
I watched like 5 minutes of Riverdale the other day because Ella had it on. It was just so intense. They're like, we think Jughead is dead.
Yeah, that's
weird.
a thing. That's a thing. Yeah.
Just like, what the fuck? Too many hamburgers? I don't know.
You know, ever since they stopped selling the pulps in the grocery store, I've had to watch it on television, I guess.
I know. I'm trying
Wow.
to show my niece, and she's it's lost in translation.
We think Betty might have killed him.
Yeah, I know. I saw her get arrested.
Was it a tragic sex accident? I don't know how people die in Riverdale.
Exactly.
Stay out of Riverdale.
He got his arm stuck in his varsity
Hanged him
jacket and
until
fell
he
down the
died.
stairs.
Wait, is Moose in this, Al?
Moose,
Yeah, is
is,
he?
Moose is in
Oh
this,
my
yeah.
God.
Stay out of Riverdale.
Is Mr. Weatherby? Is there a Mr. Weatherby?
There is a Mr. Weatherby. Yes.
Oh my god.
Why do I feel
The
like we're talking
principal
about
of the-
BoJack
The
now?
principal of the school.
Mr. Weatherby.
Oh my
He
God.
gets ousted.
Well, it sounds like no one is safe.
in a junta?
Because imagine going back and taking Jughead out of all those comics.
Kind of old news, but
It's like Garfield without Garfield.
Oh
Just
my
about John
Lord.
and Odie.
Riverdale's an intense show.
That was a comic online.
Really?
They just edited Garfield out of all.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah,
it's just a
very
man
existential.
It's just a man that's insane.
Yeah, and sad. Sad as all fuck.
Just a normal man without his angry cat.
Without someone listening to all his.
Well, I mean, even if you just take out
lifeless.
even if you just take out Garfield's thought bubbles, it's like, what is this man doing?
Why is he feeding that cat lasagna?
Yeah.
The cat can't tell him he wants lasagna.
He tried a bunch of stuff until he's all, we'll start with poop.
Why is this man defending Mondays so much?
Yeah.
To nobody.
He's an at-home cartoonist.
Wait, was he a cartoonist in that?
Yeah,
I think
yeah. He was a cartoonist in the early
I love
episodes.
that.
Yeah, oh, and he had this like best friend in the early episodes with this big disco mustache because it started in the 70s,
yeah.
and they'd like go up like to discos and pick up chicks.
Yeah.
And bring him home to Garfield to complain
Well,
at?
that was the joke, is they were bad at picking up chicks, so they never got any.
Yeah, he was always John Arbuckle.
Yeah. So we've got Jason Alexander in this movie.
Well, I'm sorry. When I went to a Scholastic Book Fair, I didn't get my copy of Meteor Man. I got Garfield.
No, for sure. The rectangular Garfields. Like there were like 50 of them.
So many.
Yeah.
They're
No, Jude, no, they're not. They're still at the library. Jude read them all.
It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
They're still in the school library?
they're still in regular libraries. You go to a library right now, they are there.
I guess that's how books
They're still
work.
making them. They're up to like the 60s.
Wow.
Yeah. Comics are incredibly popular right now, so that makes sense that there are libraries.
Yeah, so
But yeah.
so nice.
Yeah, right?
I remember like they were in the teens when I was a kid, and there'd be like a new one. I'd be like, all right, fresh Garfield.
Oh, man.
Let's see what it is.
That's so funny.
See what he's saying in this book.
That's how I was with all the Calvin and Hobbes books. Yeah, just 10 years later kind of thing.
Yeah.
The Garfield cartoon was great.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, with the Garfield and Friends.
Was it as good as the film? Or Garfield 2 starring...
Like Garfield 1
Garfield 2,
starred
A
Bill
Tale
Murray
of Two
too.
Kitties.
Both of them starred Bill Murray.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
he has a funny anecdote about the first one, but he did the second one full well knowing.
Hey everyone, Thoreau from Harmless Phosphorescence here with a message for you. Yes, you listening to me talk. Did you know that the Harmless Entertainment Network has a Patreon? That's right, you can join in and get extra fun like a Star Wars Harmless Phosphorescence miniseries, a patron-only Q&A roundtable episode. We have great bonus episodes of audio dramas like Attention Hellmart Shoppers in 1994. But not only that, if we reach our next patron goal, we'll do a monthly bonus Harmless Phosphorescence about a patron-chosen non-superhero movie. Plus, there are great new shows on the way, and if you're a patron, you'll get to hear them first. Head over to patreon.com/harmless entertainment today, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you too can join our super awesome superhero club. Now, back to the show.
And you want to know something else about Bill Murray and Garfield?
Yeah, do I?
Lorenzo Music did the voice of Garfield, and he also did the voice of Peter Venkman for the first season of The Real Ghostbusters. Bill Murray made the studio fire Lorenzo Music and hire somebody else because he didn't want the voice of Garfield.
They hired
to be
Dave
the
Coulier
voice.
from
Coulier
from Full House.
Canada.
From Alanis Morissette giving a blowjob.
He didn't want the guy playing Peter Venkman to also play Garfield.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he went on to play Garfield.
Twice.
Yeah.
Second time wasn't an accident.
Right, exactly.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, David Alan Grier did the voice of Winston Zeddemore in The Real Ghostbusters.
Nice.
So we've got Jason Alexander.
Yes. Inexplicably,
George Costanza is just in this movie. Playing like a G. Gordon Liddy type.
Yeah.
He can't feel his legs.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I can't feel his legs either.
yeah, tissue damage is still tissue damage, whether you can feel it or not. You need to see a doctor about that.
A pot of coffee.
He just poured coffee on your crotch.
Be a man. Yeah, it was startling to see him at first, too. I'm like, oh, he's playing Lex Luthor?
Right? No, he's playing G. Gordon Liddy.
Yeah, apparently.
So yeah, Jason Alexander, George Costanza,
George don't like this.
throughout the 80s was in a number of film roles. The Burning, The Mosquito Coast, Brighton Beach Memoirs, Pretty Woman, Jacob's Ladder.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an intense
I
movie.
had no idea. And then he was George. That's about it. And Duckman. Duckman was great.
Yeah.
Jason Alexander popped up in Harley Quinn, the DC Universe animated series.
Oh.
Who did he play?
I can't remember the name of the character, but he was a wheelchair-bound former Nazi.
Okay.
Superhero.
Right.
Super villain. Yes, super villain. He was a villain. He was part of Harley's crew, and he also owned her apartment. So he started.
was a landlord.
He started off as his
Nazi
as Harley
landlord.
Quinn's landlord, and then became part of the crew.
Then became a Nazi. He
Well, no, he was a
wasn't
Nazi.
hiding out.
He was a former Nazi
the
before.
boys from Brazil.
He was
Yeah.
a former Nazi before. Then he was a landlord, and then he was part of Harley's crew.
That's a fucking arc.
Woo. We've got Lynn Thigpen as Grandma
Oh, yes.
Walker.
Yeah, famous character actress.
Famous character
Actor,
actress.
sorry.
Actually, these days, maybe best known as the chief from Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah.
She started out, she was in Godspell, The Warriors, Lean on Me.
Lean on Me, I remember.
Yeah. Bicentennial Man. Her final film was Anger Management with Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson.
That was her last film?
Yeah, then she passed away.
Oh, wow. Because I remembered her in sort of I thought she popped up in other superhero movies as like the hard-ass chief or like the woman. Never mind.
Well, I mean, she was president of the world in Bicentennial Man.
I never saw.
That movie was terrible.
President
Really, really
of the
terrible.
world.
Yes. Speaking I don't know how caught up you guys are on what is that space show again? I forget every time.
Oh, Avenue 5?
Avenue 5. Avenue 5. The president situation in that show is insane.
I don't think I've gotten there.
Oh my Lord. There's two, and one of them is one of them is a personal digital assistant like Siri.
Of course. I think we're moving towards that.
That's
I think Trump is proved. We don't
the
need a
other
human
president.
being.
Yeah.
And apparently, like the overruling president. Is the artificial life form. iPad.
J5.
personal assistant.
Yeah.
Johnny
J5.
5.
Oh God.
Yes, the
J5.
human president
Yeah,
thinks
Johnny
that's great, but you're going to have to take it to the other president. Oh, no.
We have Christopher Lawford as Mayor Marvin Harris, son of Peter Lawford and Pat Kennedy.
I was going to say, he was very handsome.
Yeah, I guess he was.
Now I understand.
Yeah, he's got them Lawford
Peter
Kennedy.
Lawford, yeah.
Yeah. So
He's a Rat Pack member.
he worked in film and television for over 20 years. His acting credits include Frasier, The O.C. He had a brief stint on General Hospital. His longest role was playing Philip Charlie Brent on All My Children from 1992 to 1995.
And he started acting at a very young age whenever Frank Sinatra would come over to his house. He pretended to not be afraid.
Yeah, absolutely. He was in The Russia House with Michelle Pfeiffer and Sean Connery. He was in The Doors, directed by Olive Stone. He played a Navy officer in the 2000 film 13 Days about the Cuban Missile Crisis. That's a family drama for him.
Yeah.
He was in...
Yeah.
That's funny. He had a small role in Terminator 3, co-starring co-starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, who also directed Lawford in the anthology series Tales from the Crypt. Lawford's cousin was Maria Shriver, who was married to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, they're in-laws.
Harris Pete played Commissioner Gaines. He was best known for voicing Muddy the Mud Skipper on Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, wow.
We had some guest spots from Arsenio Hall. Was Greg Kinnear in there somewhere?
Yes. Yeah, he was the host of a show.
And Tony Cox as Midget Man.
Yep.
Who was in Bad Santa, Me, Myself, and Irene. He got his start playing an Ewok in Return of the Jedi.
All right.
Yeah. So
somebody's got to do it.
Right. This movie.
He was the one with the wallet that said "bad motherfucker."
That he fucking made out of twigs and like, leaves.
This movie has 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it was.
It deserved 14%.
I mean, they're being unfair.
And it was reviewed by Thummies.
Oh, crazy.
I found myself laughing a lot at Blankman, more than I expected to. This is the kind of picture that Robert Townsend wanted to make with his African-American superhero comedy Meteor Man from last year. But Blankman does work in the tradition of a silly Jerry Lewis comedy. It's nothing but gag, but Wayans and Greer, who were so funny as the gay film critics on In Living Color, I think they work well together here. You know, I know you heard me laugh. We saw this picture together. You heard me laughing, some big laughs during the film, and I enjoyed it.
Well, I don't think you heard me laughing quite so much. No. I was amused by a lot of the stuff. There were a couple of times
there are some big
that I thought were funny, but generally speaking, Gene, here I have the same problem that you had with actually Oliver Stone's film, which is a whole lot better, and that is there is no third act. I mean, there are no new jokes at all, and it just kind of dissipates. And
at the same time,
kind of movie you could watch it on the Late Show, you could watch it on a video, you could have fun with it up to a point, but I can't really recommend it.
All right, well, I had enough laughs in the first two acts that I say to someone, it's funny.
Okay, when we come back, a New York youngster pulls off an amazing scam in Fresh, and later in the show, John Candy's farewell performance in Wagons East.
The name's Harlow. I'll be your wagon master.
I'd say the jury's still out.
Now on video.
Oh my God, I can't stop it. All right. Yes, this is Glenn Ebert. Split decision on Blankman. Yeah.
As always.
As always. Yeah, that's about where we're at. Gentlemen, are you ready to start your engines?
Vroom, slap me around and yeah, you know.
Dangerous.
Here we go. This is Blankman. We open on a typical neighborhood sometime in the 60s. Kevin and Daryl are brothers. They're trying to watch Batman. Daryl has to rig an antenna to the toilet, which overflows, angering their grandmother.
That was pretty funny.
It was funny. It was cute. Yeah, it was cute. The kids were great. Michael and Damon Jr.
And they were watching the Batman cartoon, right?
No. It just had the animated opening.
Okay.
But they were watching the
animated opening.
Because there was even a couple scenes of Adam West giving dialogue. And then it was pretty clever that Grandma comes in to whip their ass, and that's where the Batman like sound effect cards come in.
Yeah.
That's pretty cute.
And this is where young Blankman, he's actually deferring to Kevin. So Daryl is deferring to Kevin, allowing him to be the primary hero of their fantasy
letting him
hero
be
world.
Yeah, well, I get the feeling Kevin's the older brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the dynamic.
He was the Batman and Daryl was the Robin.
Yes.
Daryl was Alfred.
So then we cut to an animated credit sequence with a Prince song, which Prince did not sing in, and then the present of 1994. The neighborhood has fallen deep into decay. There are fights in the streets, and the police are on strike. Kevin sneaks a girl out of his room, where he still lives with Daryl and his grandmother. His grandmother has her hopes for the neighborhood pinned on Alderman Marvin Harris. Only an alderman can save us now.
Yeah, Chicago and their alderman.
We'll make him the mayor, and
everything will be great.
Yeah, everything will be fine.
Great. You can trust this white guy.
He's the only politician to have ever stepped foot in the hood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which,
until Barack Obama.
Her saying that says a lot. I will say,
does.
like it's
the South Side
gotta
of
hang your hat on somebody.
So
was it Chicago? I was picking up Detroit vibes, and J15 is wearing a Detroit Lions hat.
He is, but there are license plates from Illinois.
Yeah.
There are landmarks that we see.
Oh, okay.
And then also the cops have their Chicago patch.
Nice.
The flag.
Wow.
The blue stripes and the
Josh with the details.
Well, I was trying to figure out where it was.
Yeah.
Because it was there was an elevated train, then there's some subway train scenes, but I was just curious.
They never specifically stated it.
Yeah.
And she stepped outside and lit the Alder signal. On the clats.
For the alderman.
The
Chicago. That's a
the alderman cometh.
Other places have aldermen, but you don't hear them as much as in Chicago.
No, well, I mean,
the election.
It's essentially a city councilman. Is what an alderman is.
Right. For a neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, Daryl's a crackpot inventor. His brother's annoyed with his inventions. Then Kevin heads out to work with a radio belt that his brother insisted he take. He very, very explicitly states that he has karate lessons later.
Well, yeah, and Kevin fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
fucks. But can we just mention that Daryl invented the cell phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's got GPS. He can communicate back and forth.
Yeah.
Out of a Sucret's box.
A Sucret's pouch.
So Kevin arrives at his job, makes some small talk with reporter Kimberly Jones in the elevator, and goes to the basement where he works at a sleazy tabloid show.
Hard edition?
Hard edition. Which is hard copy and inside edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where Bill O'Reilly got his freaking start.
Yeah, that's where
Bill O'Reilly
fuck
is
it, let's
now.
do it live.
Yeah, Bill O'Reilly's doing that again now.
He's back there?
No, I mean that's just the same shit that he's
But that's
always
where he
been doing.
started.
Well, yeah.
You know, he wants people to think he was legitimate journalism. But
No.
He's
He
been
was
yelling
never
at people on TV.
He was never
forever.
legitimate at anything.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know how long it's been around, but there's a BBC radio show called Hard Talk.
Ooh.
That might have been around for 2 or 3 decades.
Pump Up
I
the
don't
Volume.
know.
Yeah.
Hard Talk on BBC.
Pump up the volume.
It's a Randy.
That's one that would be fun to do for the monthly movie.
Pump Up the Volume?
Yeah.
I really like that movie.
Oh yeah, me
And
too.
It takes place in Mesa.
Yes, it does. In like a typical like a Western U.S. like subdivision that's half built.
Yeah, tract homes.
Yeah. Kevin is at his sleazy tabloid show where he's trying to get an interview with mobster Michael Minnelli. Meanwhile, at his appliance repair job, Daryl makes a discovery about his jacket.
And so, who is this?
It's
Southern...
reversible.
It is. That's the secret. This is a woman's blazer. So, who is this Southern dandy that he works for?
He's a character actor. I've seen him before.
I know, but it
yeah.
was a strange choice. I wonder if he was told, but he's like, "Oh, Daryl." He's on Designing Women. Or
Right. I wonder if he was just like friends with them, and they're like, "Just come in and vamp, just improv, do what you want to."
He's like, "Oh," he's like, "Don't touch those Bunsen burners. I use them for my appliance repair."
Right. Yeah,
there were so many Bunsen burners.
There
where,
was so many. There was
specific gas line you need.
There was so much chemistry happening there for appliance repair.
Which for a second I was like, well, that's Daryl. He brings all that shit in. But yeah, the Bunsen burners, there were several.
Yes, there were.
He's like, you need to melt this toaster into a microwave.
And then reconstitute it
with a drop of water.
At his campaign headquarters, Marvin Harris is visited by Minnelli, who tries unsuccessfully to bribe him, but does succeed in getting totally burned by Grandma Walker,
Yeah.
who was a campaign worker there.
Yeah, that was. And when she made the penis joke, and then they
They
took
start
a shot of it.
cheering.
No, but then there was ominous. Yeah, they started cheering. There was like,
I want ominous music after every penis joke.
Well, and there was like
you got a
this
small
80
dick.
See you later, Minnelli. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah. Ooh, snap!
they're all so brave because of her.
yeah.
Right.
And bold.
Also, was she the only black woman in the room?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
The
so.
entire room is white people.
Yeah, that's why
The
the sass
neighborhood-
levels were so low.
The neighborhood is, I'm assuming, not majority white. It was just weird. It was a weird, like,
Yeah, no, I doubt that.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that was his mayoral campaign. I assume it was people from all over the city.
yeah. It just felt weird, cool, because it felt like it was in the neighborhood, like around the corner from where
Oh.
Grandma lives.
Yeah.
It did feel
You'd
that
think that there would be, a little bit more of the neighborhood involved, but
And-
maybe the neighborhood's not involved in politics.
And Polito
Maybe
does
that
a
was the
good
point.
job with this Minnelli character, but they are sort of vague as to what his racket is.
Yeah.
You know what
He's
I mean?
just mobster.
Yeah, he's just
Well,
a bad guy.
okay,
but
no,
there's
for
lots of those in
access,
Chicago.
I guess.
Well, I mean, to be
how do the Polish feel about this guy?
I mean, to be fair, Ebert was correct in the fact that this is a series of skits with very little hanging it together plot-wise and movie-wise.
And that's fine. It's like easy to write that, I'm going to taint the water supply, or I'm going to get all the stamps. Or, I don't know, some valuable...
I'm going to pee in the punch bowl.
Get all the stamps.
The Illinois River.
I'm gonna
be in the Illinois
workshop that as a plot line. I'm gonna get all the stamps.
I'm gonna get all the stamps. They're the same as
No
cash.
one will be able to mail it
until
they're legal
some sort of electronic mail is invented.
But until that day,
I control the stamps in Chicago.
Your dick is small. Fum, fum.
See you later, Manelli.
Go do cabaret.
See you later, Manelli.
That's how Judy Garland left Victor Manelli.
No, every time they said Manelli, I kept thinking Liza.
Yeah. Those are her parents.
The whole time. Liza too. Just like, where's Liza too?
Yeah. Liza.
Life is a cabaret.
Kevin runs into Kimberly in the break room and gives her his card in an attempt to get work as her cameraman and kind of hit on her. She refuses when she catches him talking to his brother in his belt radio and thinks he's talking to his penis.
Yet the musical refrains were so lighthearted this time. So it's not all penises, just Manelli's.
There was a lot of attention drawn to a lot of penises in this movie.
Well, it's the 90s.
Yeah.
We'd recently discovered
the penis.
They're like, these jokes
brand new.
These jokes slap. Let's put them in every movie.
Every movie.
Yeah, this was like the movie of minute and a half schwang scenes.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
When he gets.
Oh my God, that
we'll get to that.
We'll get to
We'll
that. That
get
was
to that.
like, holy Lord. Okay, so that night, Grandma Walker and a few others are working late at the Harris campaign when they're robbed and murdered by Manelli's thugs.
Yeah.
Well, they take checks. She's like, those are checks. And he's like, I don't care.
Yeah. And did you see that guy backing out of the room? He did little hops. Like the little funny hops out of the room holding the check.
The thugs were all crazy. I don't know if you watched their thug work.
I know. The one bald guy with the London fog jacket where he rolled the sleeves.
Oh my God. Well, and like when they were like blocking the doors to the bank later and they were just like rocking back and forth like, yeah.
Bombs. We're all strapped to bombs.
I watched this movie twice. I still don't remember murders.
Oh, really?
For some
He
reason.
straight up walks in with a machine gun. And
says-
it's off screen.
And says-
it cuts away to her funeral.
And says,
but
this is from Manelli.
this is from Manelli. It's like, which one?
Then spray.
Be more specific. What did I ever do to you, Liza?
Well, okay, so he walks in.
This is from Liza Minnelli.
And he, oh my God.
She unloads in a room.
He machine guns only Grandma?
Yeah.
But he's like spraying back and forth. and we only see Grandma's
I think
funeral.
everyone does.
I think everyone dies. Grandma's
but
just
there's
the
like
only
4
one with
people.
an on-screen funeral.
Yeah, that we care about, I guess.
Where
You would've
this
thought-
fry guy robot
you would
is
think-
attending.
You would think
The
that,
fry
oh God,
guy,
yeah. You'd think that they would have been like, oh yeah, there was a terrible string of events and there was a murder and a police investigation. That would have been a great like segue news clip in this movie.
Right.
Like the superhero movies do as a trope.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
Like, and to honor random lady, I will not suspend my campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been a great way to tie all of that shit together.
Right.
Yeah, but
Instead of having the sketch about the funeral.
yeah. Oh my God, they go to the funeral and he's so over the top, comically crying.
Yeah. And his robot, Johnny Five.
So they lay their grandma to rest. Daryl rescues an old lady from a mugger on the subway and realizes that how crime-riddled his neighborhood is. He declares someone should do something about it, like Batman would. His brother is unreceptive to the idea.
Yeah. And he wants to start right then and there. He wants to shut down the crack house.
Yeah. He just wants to walk in and do it.
And then David Allen Greer has that great joke about you don't need a permit to open a crack house.
Yeah. We learned that Harris was elected mayor, but made no changes to the corrupt government due to being scared of the gangsters. The one gangster. And late one night, Daryl creates a bulletproof superhero costume. His brother remains unreceptive to the idea.
And is this where he goes and catches that pimp who's conducting an aerobics class in that alley?
Oh, that's coming up. Yeah,
all the women are in like
that's coming up. I don't know what
like
was
physical.
happening.
Yeah, those leotards. Not even really like prostitutes, like they were working.
Physical.
Listen to my body talk.
No, they never
Body
specifically state he's a pimp or anything. He's just there to beat up the aerobics ladies.
So you call that downward dog?
The next day at work, Kimberly asks Kevin to be her cameraman for a piece on Minnelli. Kevin arrives at home to discover Daryl has gone out crime fighting. He rushes out to find him. Meanwhile, Daryl's listening in on the police scanner. He finds a crime, doesn't seem to understand public transportation, but then he does get there eventually to find the pimp beating up one of his hookers.
Is that the crime that was called in?
Was it?
Was it? Yeah.
I feel like he
clear.
didn't make it to the other crime.
Right,
and he
because
just,
that was on
stumbled
10th
on this
Street.
one.
Yeah.
It seems like he stumbled on this one.
I mean, he's not a very good crime fighter.
You know, and I'm glad they made the pimp a white guy, but it was, I don't know, what bad white guys in the 90s, just so much feathered hair and shoulder length hair and like duster jackets with the collar popped. And
Oh, yeah. No.
He didn't have a full ponytail, but he had like the little tiny.
It was like mullety.
The tiny ponytail, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
God, that's
sort of Kenny Rogers in
the
front.
80s, early 90s tiny ponytail.
That Sean Connery ponytail.
Yes.
The 2-inch long ponytail.
Or was it in The Mask? The guy who was completely bald
And
except
only
for the
had the
little tiny-
ponytail. Yes.
That's how you know you're a villain.
No,
That's how you know. If you stand there and you're looking at yourself.
The guy in the mask had a
You're like,
giant ponytail.
I'm wearing a bright green suit
Then was it the
Medium
guy in the
ponytail?
crew?
with a black shirt, no tie,
In one
and
of
I
those
have
movies-
a ponytail.
80% of my clothes are made out of rayon.
And the crew.
I
There was a
shine
huge
in
fat
any
guy
light.
with a tiny
And my
ponytail.
shoulder pads are gigantic and like way off my shoulder.
All right, so his costume is bulletproof, but it doesn't protect against bitch slaps, apparently.
Well, no, because he has
the pimp goes right to work.
he has nothing on his head, and they make the joke, shoot him in the head.
I know.
Yeah.
That was great. We had said that.
Okay, so he has this super advanced technology bulletproof spray. Why doesn't he just sell that shit, make $1 million, and save the hood with capitalism?
money.
He's always
yeah,
wanted
I
to be a
forgot.
superhero.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
Well, yeah.
Or his cell phone.
Or his, his
Yeah.
cell
Why
phone.
Any
idea.
number of things he could, patent and turn into.
Well, and that's like, we get to that later on in the movie where he hangs up his hat and just like, dude, monetize some of this shit, man. Come on.
Right. But, well, yeah. And I mean, yeah. So, I mean, again, why doesn't he make like a Batman type cowl that's covered in bulletproof
Right?
stuff?
Just wear a ski mask that you
Yeah.
spray with that stuff. Also,
Why doesn't he spray his brother's suit?
yeah,
Yeah,
that too.
it's a spray.
Yeah. Sprayed it in
and he
his
like
face.
dips it in a bathtub. He has a full bathtub of that stuff.
Yeah.
I would just be dipping everything until I ran out of that liquid. I'd be like, dope, everything I own is now bulletproof.
Yeah, because there seems to be no like issues with it being bulletproof. Like it doesn't become stiff and weird or anything.
Yeah,
Right.
It's totally flexible. Also,
Why
this
did-
this pimp slapping him around
Yes.
says, why don't you take her place? Basically, I thought that he was gonna like
Oh.
pimp out Blankman.
Well, that's what he
wow,
was saying.
yeah.
yeah,
he
he's
was
like, I'm gonna make
turn
you
him
work the
out.
streets. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The
Oh,
dude
yeah.
in a duster jacket means business.
because they're like, you're gonna take her place. In the slapping was one layer of taking her place.
Well, and
But then
there was that one
also,
point where
yeah.
the pimp shoots him, and not realizing he's bulletproof, and then says to the hooker, "Look what you made me do."
Yeah.
right?
Like,
Yeah. Typical
yeah,
gaslighting.
yeah.
Stop making me kill
Those
people.
'90s pimps.
Yeah. Someone, yeah. Always projecting their feelings.
So Kevin arrives and saves him with his previously mentioned karate skills.
Yep. Which we know because he said he had a class, but also he had martial arts posters in his room.
Yes, he's the martial arts guy. We know this.
Because they said it.
Yeah.
The next day, Daryl goes to the police and demands to see the commissioner. They don't take him seriously and lock him up when he refuses to leave. Kevin bails him out.
This was fun. I didn't realize there was a character that was the commissioner.
Yeah, I didn't either. I
I
thought
d-
they never got him.
I just heard him saying, "I want to speak to the commissioner," and
Well, yeah.
And it was hilarious.
No, it is because that's like walking into like it's like walking into like a building and be like, I want to see the president of the company.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was even in Meteor Man. Like, give me the world leaders on the phone. Just the world leaders.
Like, who is that
on the phone?
Like, you don't know how this works.
Yeah, it's not one phone, bro.
Yeah. So Kevin bails him out, but he's forced to see a psychologist who diagnoses Daryl as normal. He's just a geek.
Yep, that's all.
Yeah.
No, that's not a normal condition. I think psychiatrists have come out against calling geekdom.
Yeah.
Oh, a mental
equating geekdom to normality.
Yeah.
They put it on a kind of spectrum.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Probably.
I mean, there was that period where, anyone that self-identified as a geek, that if they were watching Star Trek, then they'd have to be chemically castrated.
Yeah. Basically. Now they rule the world. Now guys in porn look like nerds and hipsters.
Well, that's because porn went from being like made by like a bunch of like.
Oh, I know it's generational, but it is just funny. Be like, he's gonna do you, and then he's gonna install your wireless printer.
Well, yeah, no, because
the Geek Squad
in the 80s and 90s, porn dudes were like just these nasty, like
oiled
greasy,
up, greasy bohunk. Yeah,
and now porn's made by like these guys like 3 houses down.
Well, it was always that way.
Made by and
this is what dudes look like now. So it's just I don't know which is better.
Yeah. Nothing's really better.
Nothing is better.
The story.
Nothing is ever better.
Oh shit.
So back to Blankman.
Yeah. Anyways, now that my existential crisis is over. Yeah. That night, Daryl and Kevin set up a. Okay, so wait, no, I skipped that. So the psychiatrist calls Daryl normal, but a geek Kevin doesn't come off well. And at home, he finally agrees to help Daryl fight crime as a way to work through their grandmother's death, as long as they do it his way.
And that rollerblade joke was pretty funny. What is this? Oh, the lower half roller. Oh, the bottom. The bottom. He throws it out the window. Just some good sarcasm there.
That night, Daryl and Kevin set up a table for a neighborhood watch and are immediately called in to help a pregnant woman give birth in a stuck elevator.
So maybe it was earlier, I can't remember, but the OBGYN droid from Star Wars is in this.
Wait, what?
Was it the elevator doors? But
that's this point right here. Yeah,
they even grease up the forceps.
Yeah, what did he call it? The forceps
of life. The forceps of life.
That's what forceps are. They take babies out.
All forceps are the forceps.
Why did he just have those?
I don't know. He had to strap it onto himself for it to work.
Yeah,
and then he had to
lube it. And then hand crank it.
I mean, that was just a vagina joke, the lubing.
Yeah.
He was planning to take 2 Skywalkers out of a lady.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This elevator's died of sorrow.
They're there.
They're there.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. No. While they're doing this, there's another penis joke where she grabs his finger.
Yeah.
David Alan Grier's finger.
That's right. You got a big finger.
Thank you.
And it makes for good comedy, and it's funny in a scene. But
it's a little weird.
Do you remember how many babies Batman delivered? Just like constantly.
Okay, I have to say this baby delivery scene, I think, is the fucking freakiest scene that we've had to watch.
Yeah, because
it's crazy.
This is more intense than anything in Toxic Avenger. Like the kid getting run over by the car in Toxic Avenger turned my stomach. But this goes on so long.
So long.
And just the shot of Damon Wayans going, ah.
Yeah, you've got children. You've probably seen The Miracle of Birth. I assume it's nothing like what we watched in this movie. No. 3 adults screaming at each other.
Right.
And him on the radio
It's
before he
disgusting.
drops down into the elevators. Like, we got a pregnant situation here.
A pregnant situation.
Just the 90s and the lack of comfort talking about women's bodies in like a clinical way. It's still an issue. It's, black women in hospitals giving birth have a normally high rate of death because people are uncomfortable talking about people's bodies.
Right.
I got to look at her thing.
Yeah.
Dude, holy shit. It's crazy that we've come this far, and at least people are aware now that, like, talking like that about people's bodies is a bad thing.
Yeah.
But just seeing it, like, hey, I gotta look at her thing. It took me back to a time when we were all like, her hoo-ha.
Right.
And things like that. Because like, to say, dude, there's gonna be a baby coming out of her vagina in like 30 seconds. What am I supposed to do?
Well, but
catch that thing.
No, and it
would have been way better than her thing.
Yeah. Well, no, and that's it's especially evident how uncomfortable they are, considering how at ease they are with male genitalia jokes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Those jokes.
Yeah, very, very at ease.
That pregnancy birth scene just really kind of laid a lot of things out for me as we were watching it, and I'm like, I am so uncomfortable. Why am I so uncomfortable? I've seen babies be born on a movie before, and it's just three adults
and it was so
screaming at each other.
They screamed way too long.
Well, they made it such a mystery that it was just like, what the fuck is a baby? Ah,
right.
Yeah, which was jarring.
Yeah, no, it really was. And
by the way, it was a boy.
Oh,
yeah, it was
that's
a boy.
right.
Yes,
but I guess
no umbilical cord.
It doesn't really explain Kevin, but I guess that would be Daryl's first time seeing a vagina ever.
Yes.
So that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's,
oh my god.
First time you ever see one.
Terrible way to see a vagina for the first
coming out of it.
Skew your perception of.
No, that's gonna leave some lingering issues.
Yeah, they're much prettier. Stages.
I just think of all of the boys that grew up watching this movie and being like, her thing.
Yeah.
You know? Like, this came out the same year as The Mask, and I said smoking for 10 years. You know, her thing.
Well, yeah, and like I was talking,
it's still a mystery,
right?
Yeah. So, the press and the fire department, the press and the fire department arrive, and Daryl is given the name Blankman.
He's drawing a blank man.
Yeah, he's blank.
Oh, he's gone blank, ma'am.
Oh,
he's
gone
so
blank.
She hears blank man.
Yeah.
But everyone goes with it.
That was a little sweaty.
It's Solo. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Oh, you're alone.
Solo.
Blank man.
Oh, Solo.
Wookie.
Look at my thing.
We then get a montage of Blankman saving a dog, stopping robberies. People are putting up signs all over the neighborhood. Blankman in effect.
But it's another thing, sort of like Meteor Man, where the neighborhood just immediately owns them and then immediately starts, telling them what to do and how.
Oh
to do
yeah. It's very hard to not draw parallels between this and Meteor Man.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this is a much more successful movie than Meteor Man in almost every way.
Yeah, as goofy as this is, the comic beats hit.
This was more aware of its audience.
Yeah.
Meteor Man
That's
was
true.
somebody
Meteor Man
talking
didn't know.
down to the community. It felt like I'm not a member of the black community, but you could just feel like if only we got together and we helped each other and we pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps. Whereas this is just like a couple of goofy kids trying to figure it out.
And Meteor Man was just more clunkily made.
Well, right. He couldn't decide what the powers of Meteor Man were.
All of them.
It was actually sort of a smart move.
Yeah.
He doesn't have powers.
No powers.
He's Batman.
It's his costume. It's more his attitude.
He's a
and
poor
his
Batman.
His heart. Yeah. More like Hero at Large.
Yeah.
Than Meteor Man. Soon we'll have a wider template, which in comparison,
Inspiring the city with his casual superhero-ness.
with his glasses on.
With his fork glasses.
that he has been wearing since he was a small child.
Yeah. That was
He's never changed that.
This
type
man
of
can
technology.
create anything.
Yeah.
And he can't make a new piece for his
Glass
glasses.
bridge. Yeah.
More of a non-vengeance Punisher.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just living in an abandoned subway tunnel.
Just like I just want to.
Well, like the turtles.
Right? Yeah, they killed my grandma.
Yes. Subway.
The turtle subway thing, yeah.
The subway terminal, subway train,
Yeah.
abandoned subway terminal.
Yeah, but even before Turtles, Lex
looks
Luthor.
great.
Yeah.
There's
Looks
just something
great.
about underground layers that.
that are just calling to me.
Well, and even has the false door.
Yeah,
That's
but
a little later. But
so only Lex Luthor had the pool. He had the layer.
Well,
of
I mean, he
capital.
is Lex Luthor.
Yes.
yeah, he paid a little extra.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mayor Harris.
Well, he
He paid-
himself is a real estate broker, so he knows how to.
He paid a little extra.
A little extra.
He owns a Lexus.
Fucking Lexus.
Meanwhile, Mayor Harris, who has apparently been cooperating with Minnelli, sees a news report about Blankman and refuses to help Minnelli further. Minnelli is not pleased.
Every time Kevin was in the news office, I don't know, it just made me think of Blankman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. Right. Jerome Olsen, maybe.
Meanwhile, Kevin's upset that Daryl's refusing money that people have offered Blankman, but accepting junk.
There was a semi-dope montage. Right? After the he's gone blank, ma'am. After he gets his name, he's got the
we had the montage.
Okay.
We did the montage.
Did we mention that he tried to name himself Brother Man?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He did.
I have to wonder if that was he originally was pitched Brother Man as a secondary and then they were like no.
Which I mean also
if it was his second choice.
The name Blankman makes me wonder is that a play on just him being a superhero that is a black man?
Yeah.
Not to get too much into the numerology or whatever.
No,
fill in the blank.
I feel like the whole Blankman thing, the fact that it is Blankman, has something to do with something that happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
For
It's
sure.
pointing at something.
Yeah.
So. But the Brother Man thing was an interesting, maybe Brother Man?
Yeah, that was with the laughing cops earlier when he was trying to speak to the commissioner.
I can
tell him your name. He's like, I'm leaning towards Brother Man.
Robert Schimmel.
I can totally see them in a room pitching ideas in a story conference. N-word man.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
I can see them that. Be like, no, we can't do that. How about you know?
Yeah, and then working their way down to Blankman.
Yeah.
Being like, all right, screw it. This is the only good idea we've got that'll work.
Yeah. Daryl takes his stuff, sets up a secret lair in an abandoned subway station. Meanwhile, Kimberly wants an interview with Blankman.
Yeah, so does Daryl need glasses or not?
Well, yeah, because sometimes
when he's Blankman, he's not wearing glasses.
Is that a prescription sock he's wearing?
I wonder.
Yeah. So Kevin convinces Daryl to do it. They meet at a train station where Blankman takes her back to his lair, which he's converted into a lab. She's dazzled by his stuff, and after the interview, she kisses him, and he reacts strongly and for a long time.
So they get into the Blankman mobile. What was it that he called it?
Blank bike.
The blank bike.
Yeah.
And she is immediately like, what the hell is this? He goes, it's the blank bike.
Right.
And about 10 seconds later, she goes, this is great. I love this.
Yeah.
I was just going so fast down the L tracks.
Yeah, going 14, 15 miles an hour.
Well, it had to be more than that because the train was coming, which was hilarious. He's all nonchalant. It's rush hour and the express is right behind.
Yeah.
Well, and he keeps stopping. That bit went on for a while.
Yeah, I thought the stopping was funny because it just kept going on. I'm like, oh God, he's just going to keep stopping. This is never going to end. But the way that she fell in love with him immediately was really weird.
It was so often.
It was like he drugged her.
It was like he was a Mandalorian with a helmet on.
Right? And we see later on we see again the hero give up and only be inspired to come back when the woman he loves is in danger.
Yeah.
It happens again and again.
I mean, Lois.
Yeah.
Lois.
She's the prototype. Yeah.
Which, I can't fault him for playing up that
Vicky
trope because
Vale.
they're making a superhero movie. And
right. He went, exactly.
Yeah, it's tropey on purpose.
Yeah.
Well, and it says right in the beginning that it's, the character and itself is inspired by the 1960s Batman. You know what I mean? Not dark superheroes, this goofy shit.
Yeah.
And she falls in love with him for no other reason
than that he's Blankman.
But that he is
right.
A hero.
Yeah.
A costumed hero.
Which, it's funny, it seems lazy for the male character to use that as motivation, as the call to action, but it's much lazier. They always do that to female characters.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, he's noble. He's the slightest bit of noble compared to everyone around me. I am in love.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Oh,
no.
He's tall and blonde.
Right.
Yeah. It's all you need.
Not this movie. Different movie.
Yeah. With lightning fingernails.
You do a lot with electric fingers.
Nuclear. Yeah, you can.
Sparkle finger.
Sparkle finger. So the sorry. Meanwhile, at home, Kevin is watching late night talk shows, and Daryl returns, telling him he's in love with Kimberly.
He's watching the late night talk show.
Yeah, he's watching Arsenio Hall. Oh, with his dog pound.
And I guess the deal doesn't go
Where's
the
my
other
dog?
way.
They didn't do any.
They didn't do the
Woof. They didn't do the woofing.
Yeah.
No one never.
I barely noticed that Arsenio Hall was in this movie. They didn't do the.
They didn't do the woof
They
woof.
didn't do the woof.
Yeah.
And I guess the deal doesn't go either way.
I
I guess Arsenio Hall can be in something, but Eddie Murphy doesn't have to, which is vice versa.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, and then we also see this is where we see Midget Man and
Right.
Gay Man.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah.
That was rough. He was a leather daddy.
Yes. He says he's already cruising the streets. So.
Oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
The early night.
I promised myself I wouldn't point out the gay man.
It was bad. That was like the worst.
You mean
moment
last
of the-
night at Congress or right now?
but there he was.
There he was. Yeah, there's something about the Wayans brothers and midgets. They think they're hilarious.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they.
I'm gonna get you sucked.
Well, and they.
Come on, we all thought they were hilarious for a long time. In the 80s and the 90s.
We were always
Come
woke.
on.
Al, we were always
Society thought they were hilarious until they realized, hey, they're people.
Until
Yeah.
people finally looked down and recognized their humanity.
Until we realized they were Ewoks too.
Yeah, that's why. That's why they get such shit.
I mean, I feel like Kenny Baker did a lot in one direction and in the other direction. In that
Yeah,
sense of
well,
being
yeah.
like a prominent face. And
Totally.
Not to blame Kenny Baker for representation.
for shortness.
But no, like he all of a sudden was this really famous guy, you know? And everybody was
But
like,
mostly
oh.
being in little outfits.
Yeah.
What how often is, except for Time Bandits, how often has Kenny Baker gotten to show his face?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's true.
Yeah.
No, I just.
So they were treated.
I just had to
like
stop
jokes.
myself from saying, well, what other kind of outfits is he going to wear?
You don't think it'd be adorable if he
Loose
was in
fitting.
pajamas that were too big for him?
God damn it, he's a man. He's older than us.
Men wear pajamas.
Everybody who hasn't, go watch Time Bandits. It's
great.
It's a great movie.
It really is.
It's a great film.
And not once are the little people
that
a
at least-
joke.
No,
Yes.
For
no,
being
that's
little
never a
people.
joke.
That's
No.
never a gag.
No, it isn't.
Terry Jones knew.
It's just a great movie.
So, Blankman. Kevin tries to woo Kimberly the next day at work. Oh, well, no. So Kevin's upset when he finds out there was a tongue kiss involved with Blankman and Kimberly. And then the next day,
The French style.
the next day, Kevin tries to woo Kimberly, but she is smitten with Blankman.
So the way that he talked, there was tongue. Like it almost felt like he's never kissed a woman either.
Oh well, he was doing it with that.
I know he
that
was.
big
I know
lady
he
in the
was.
beginning.
But he just like tongue.
Yeah, I thought it was more like, wow, Daryl, like
Well, yeah,
we went yesterday. You were a complete
could-
virgin.
You could
flop.
you could go that way, but also he was just completely flummoxed.
So many doors to go down.
I never thought to use my tongue in that whole kissing maneuver.
Here's the question: was that it? Kind of played. Was that
fear?
Was that Daryl's first orgasm?
I think
Yes,
so.
yes.
That's why it went on so long.
No, I wrote down. I think it was his first boner as well. It was his first erection.
That seems
'Cause-
almost impossible.
Well, probably, but the way he reacted, the way he
I
reacted,
think he came in his pants.
This was a play in two
Oh
parts.
yes, he definitely
yeah.
did.
No,
he definitely did.
Honestly,
but
I'm kind of with
Because
Al.
you wake up with boners.
I read this as a play in two parts, where the first part after he kisses her, he is so uncomfortable because of his erection inside his jumpsuit,
and it's his first
and
one.
he's just like, "Oh wow, what is this feeling?" And the end of the movie, spoiler alert, is him finishing in his pants.
Oh no! I thought he finished the first time too.
No, I'm sure he finished it the first time.
That's true.
In this scene.
But I was
too, but-
that's how I read it. Was like, are they? Because the second time we watched at the end, I just remember going,
I think he's fucked J5.
yeah, oh, hey, he bangs that thing, and a can of Pepsi comes out.
Yep. Just like a lady.
A Pepsi-shaped hole.
He took a child out of a Pepsi-shaped hole earlier.
A Pepsi-shaped hole.
A circle.
Not soda can shaped Pepsi. It's a specific brand.
Well, at the angle it came out, it was a
Lana Del Rey
rectangle.
quote for that, I'm sure. What's it? My pussy tastes like Pepsi.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm more
isn't
of a
that a Lady
Coca-Cola.
Gaga song?
No, I think that's Lana Del Rey. The Lady Gaga's was
bet.
My Pussy Tastes Like Mountain Dew.
I hate
Code Red.
and Doritos.
Code Red.
Doritos. Or was that blue
ice.
stuff? Yeah.
Well, a Pepsi shaped hole. I could see.
Oh yeah, look
Like-
at that! Catch the wave.
The Pepsi logo.
Yeah. Like it's got that kind of like
yin yang, but
Yeah.
sort of.
Like I just said, at the angle that the Pepsi came out of the robot, it was just a rectangle.
All right, well, maybe that's how
Maybe he's
robot
rectangular
vaginas
shapes.
are.
we don't know. Who are we to
don't
judge?
know.
At the
we
angle,
just don't know.
At the angle, soda cans usually come out of soda can dispensers.
Yep,
It's a rectangle.
you're right about that.
It's true.
Yeah, but we're not
It's
talking
science.
about that. We're talking about
No, we're not.
thing.
We're talking about Blankman's first erection.
So
I disagree. It's not his first direction.
No, it is. It is.
It's his first
He's never
on-screen
felt
erection.
this sensation before.
Yeah,
I'm-
orgasm.
I'm gonna at Damon Wayans and find out if that was his
Yes.
first erection or not.
You can accidentally get a boner.
wait. You can?
No boner.
Oh,
is an
you guys
accident.
can't?
Mine are all intentional.
Oh, man, what a bummer. Really? Intentional? Do it right now. Do it right now.
He said intentional, not on demand.
For those of you listening along at home,
That's what intentional.
he is doing it
No,
right
there's
now.
a difference.
It's not really.
We need that. Where's that creaky door sound?
No, this is the piece of music.
Lightning.
Boom.
It's like lightning crashing in Young Frankenstein. What they say from Blue Car. Okay, so
You guys should try wearing basketball shorts with nothing else, and then tell me about accidental boners.
that was a joke. I've had many accidental boners. I was in 7th grade once.
So I assume Daryl was.
Kimberly delivers a news report about the mayor who states he's been inspired by Blankman and has struck a deal with the bank to pay the city's outstanding debt, including the police paychecks.
Okay, yeah, that's hilarious. Just each individual employee show up with your check.
Yeah.
It's like, how were things funded previously? I think you just pay that department and then they pay their employees.
Yeah.
But they all came in their village people outfits. Like there's a construction, a cop.
Well, no, 'cause-
I got my check.
and he invites Blankman to receive an award. Blankman gets a trophy. He had a trophy. It was like a bowling trophy.
Yeah. And Kevin got a t-shirt that said Blank Man.
He gets a trophy at the opening of the bank, and the mayor invites the unpaid workers in to get paid. The mayor is so oblivious to what's happening behind him. He's like, "Come on, guys!" And it's
Everybody in the bank. I know we said on the news there'd be an armored truck full of cash, and we would all be here. But go in.
he invites them all in, and all the bad guys walking behind him with the guns, and he's just like, "What to do?"
Yeah, he's like, I thought those were paid bad guys. I thought we owed them.
Yeah, did we pay our bad guys yet? I don't know.
That's why they're here. Check in hand.
So Minnelli's men storm in, keeping the public and the police out, and blasting a hole in the floor from which Minnelli emerges draped in satin.
Yeah. And he sort of comes up like he's risen up like a stage elevator trap. Yeah.
Yes. No.
Like comes up with smoke and
Yeah, no, he
dust.
comes up like the Penguin in Batman Returns.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but only a real man does it in satin. Yeah, I'd like to review that statement.
Do you disagree?
Yeah.
Bro, we got to get you some satin.
I guess so. But
Got a closet full of it.
Now we're talking accidental boners.
Nothing is an accident when you're wearing satin. And an ascot.
So it's automatically murder. It's not manslaughter. He was wearing satin. Do I have to say anything else?
Case closed.
Was that also?
She was asking for it. She was wearing satin.
He was. He said it's a real man.
Yeah.
What else?
Women in satin, that's a whole other rule book.
That's a whole other.
Yeah.
Was that also a satin ascot?
Yeah, I, think
I would
so.
assume so.
Yeah.
I would assume
I mean,
silk. I mean,
yeah.
you got to silk on the nicer
a silk
things.
ascot with the
Yeah.
satin.
The satin.
Silk and satin.
Is it after Labor Day or?
Yeah. I don't know anything about fashion or matching fabrics. Somebody let us help us.
No, I don't know anything
Tan
about
France?
fashion, but I do know Chicago crime buffers.
And they love satin.
Yeah, Satin is a Chicago tough guy every day.
He is a Manelli, so I
the
mean,
South and
wearing
West sides, they're always
frilly, fluffy, satiny things is in the family.
Feather boa.
Yeah.
The mayor and Blankman get chained up by Manelli, who sets a bomb to go off in 3 minutes.
And strapped him to all of his henchmen. 3 minutes?
There was
Do you know what happens when a bomb goes off?
Right. There was so much plastique in there.
C4.
Yeah. Just in a bag.
This is going to blow up a lot.
Yeah.
Why did he throw that bag back into the hole where Manelli
That's what I thought they were going to go. Yeah.
He was just like, peace out, Mayor. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it right next to you. I'm not even going to move it away with the chance it might not kill you.
Or this giant vault that you're chained to might contain a bomb blast. Just throw it in the vault, close the big door.
The mayor being chained to the door was, I believe, unintentionally hilarious.
Yeah, because he did look funny. And then Blankman just shimmies out of his chains. He doesn't break them, of course.
No.
Oh, man. This was a long...
Go back.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No,
So-
keep going. Keep going.
So, okay, all right. So the mayor and Blankman foil the robbers' plan to steal the money, and the robbers run away. They just run away.
Yeah.
Blankman gets free, and after Kevin runs into the bank, stops the bombs strapped to the mayor, only to find another bomb in a bag. Blankman and Kevin run out, and the mayor is blown up. I was honestly shocked.
I was
they
too.
Did that.
I was too.
Outside, the crowd quickly turns against Blankman, blaming him for the money being exploded and the city's workers not getting paid. The police commissioner also blames him on TV.
Yeah, he was like, Blankman was in charge here.
Yeah, this is all Blankman's fault.
You are the highest law office position
in the city. Daryl blames himself and, depressed, decides to give up the superhero business, shutting down his lab and his robot. Kevin suggests Daryl get a job, and Daryl starts working at McDonald's. On the bus ride home, he sits idly by while a gang of street toughs steal a woman's purse. Meanwhile, Manelli visits Larry Stone, Kevin's old boss at the tabloid, who offers him Blankman in return for an exclusive interview. Manelli agrees after slapping him around a little.
Yeah. He's got no legs, but he's got balls. That's an either-or situation.
Right.
Anyone that can walk is a coward.
Kimberly figures out that Manelli killed Daryl and Kevin's grandmother, but just as she's calling to tell them, Manelli takes her hostage, telling Kevin on the phone, thinking he's Blankman, to come down there if he wants to ever see Kimberly alive again.
Yeah, in this like cable access looking news studio that's almost at the top of the Sears Tower. That's got to be expensive real estate.
Oh my God.
They even go up the building. They're like way up there.
Kevin goes to McDonald's and convinces Daryl to become Blankman again. The bit with the salad I thought was funny.
Yeah, we have now. We have those now.
A lot of people don't think we have them, but
You wouldn't
we
expect
do.
that from McDonald's, but it's the crispy chicken salad.
Yeah, so Kevin goes to McDonald's, convinces Daryl to become Blankman again and rescue Kimberly, and by agreeing to be his sidekick and telling him that Manelli killed their grandmother.
One of my favorite extras in the movie is the hamburger guy, though. The
That's
guy's
angry?
just trying to, he just snatches it. Just for here to go, man. Just grabs the burger.
Back in, the McDonald's days where you just go in and order a hamburger.
Yeah, no fries, no drink.
Yeah, just snatching the burger out of his hand. Ugh.
A single ham. Who the fuck, what kind of monster orders a hamburger and not a cheeseburger?
I don't know.
My sister Claire.
Really?
Yes.
She doesn't like cheese, or
No,
is she
she's
lactose
never liked
intolerant?
cheese.
She doesn't like cheese. I know she's not intolerant.
Well,
I'm sorry if
She
my
sounds
volume level
intolerant
is-
to me.
Yeah.
Well, yes, she's cheese intolerant. She's not lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
She just won't
but
tolerate the
I remember
cheese.
she never, I
I
remember ordering pizzas.
I appreciate pizza night with my sister Claire. Thank you, Claire, for giving me all the cheese off your pizza.
Yep.
I appreciate it. I know
You're welcome, Al.
I know you didn't have to.
you didn't have
You
to.
could have given it to the dog.
You could have thrown it against the wall. At the news station, Minnelli is being interviewed. He becomes uncomfortable with the line of questioning and shoots the interviewer, who asks him if he's gay.
Yeah, he doesn't like his manhood being questioned.
No, he does not.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Who does?
This is.
I don't mind.
I mean,
I'm into it.
I've never shot anyone.
It's 2020.
If you've got questions about my manhood,
what the fuck have I ever
at
cared? Some dude's opinion.
Yeah, ask me.
I'm not gonna fucking start now. Crime boss or not.
But this, I don't know. Damon Wayans' relationship with homosexuality in general is weird
and midgets and handicapped people.
Very early '90s, late '80s, kind of like it's all so funny.
Yeah, and it's lowbrow.
Yeah,
there's an audience for it.
Yeah. So they're about to kill Kimberly when Blankman and Kevin burst through the window. Glass
on the Sears Tower.
Yeah, glass in this movie is like paper thin.
Yeah. Except when it's not.
Yes.
Like the lotto tank that they're in.
Until it is.
Yeah. Until it is.
I apologize. Did we breeze past the scene with Jason Alexander?
Yeah, you were out of the room.
Jason Alexander and the other guy.
Minnelli.
Minnelli. After he pours the coffee on his crotch.
Yeah, we're past that.
Yeah, we were talking about you don't have legs, but you got balls.
Yeah.
But he tells him to take a walk with me.
Oh,
have a seat. He says, "Take a walk with me. Have a seat." And Minnelli sits in the chair, the rolling chair, and yeah, he rolls him.
Man,
they have a roll and talk.
A roll and talk.
Patented Aaron Sorkin roll and talk.
So Kevin,
roll with me.
Kevin and Blankman arrive. They battle Minnelli's men, but Minnelli gets the upper hand and puts them in a tank of water. I don't really know how he got the upper hand because they were fighting, then they just stopped and decided we're captured.
Yeah, where
now.
they put in by again that henchman with the London fog jacket that he totally rolls the sleeves up. Like,
why are you wearing?
Never seen anyone wear a trench coat that way.
The sleeves rolled up.
He's all, it's raining a little.
It's not raining on my arms.
It can't rain every time, everywhere.
Yeah.
No, well,
it can't rain all the time.
No.
It can't rain on every inch of my arm.
I am
the Rain Man.
So his film is the follow-up to Blankman.
It's the sequel.
Trench coat, rolled up trench coat guy.
Yep, he's
AKA
back.
The Rain Master.
The return of Durant.
The guy, because that's what people go to Darkman for.
That's a crossover
Durant.
we deserve. Is the Durant
coats.
and Blankman.
Oh my God! So
the phantom drizzling.
That's the subtitle.
Be careful where you Google that.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Or,
see some geeky dudes.
I mean, if you Google it on Google, you get some weird shit.
if you Google it on Bing, though.
If you Google the word Google, you'll get some weird
If
shit.
you Google it on Bing.
Bing's like, son of a bitch.
I asked Jeeves to Bing it on my Google.
Hey, man, if you're Scotch tape or you're Sriracha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're
If you're the first person to do that, the product's going to be named after you in purpose.
That's how it works. It's like discovering a new species.
We call all kinds of clear tape Scotch tape.
Oh.
It's a brand. There's only
it is.
3M Scotch tape. Everything else is just clear
tape. Yeah.
And this has been Tape Talk.
But well, there are lots of products.
There are.
You can look.
Yeah.
You just need to insert the
Why do you think they call it the Dirty
Sand?
Sanchez? Mr. Sanchez was the first.
Exactly.
So Minnelli puts him in a tank of water in the lotto booth.
Have you guys heard the
It's just
the
a regular
prophecy?
poop mustache.
Sanchez will be the last, too.
The Sanchez prophecy?
Yeah.
The Sanchez
The
prophecy.
Sanchez prophecy. They chain up Stone and Kimberly and plant bombs in the building to blow. On a timer, Minnelli leaves, and Blankman
with a flourish.
Yes,
as she's known.
With those legs.
Gams.
Blankman reveals that J5, the robot, is on his way to rescue him.
Yeah. This was a hilarious scene, but I wrote I wrote just prior to this secret bomb.
Secret bomb.
Secret bomb. So Manelli had a secret bomb.
Yeah, somewhere in the Sears Tower.
As opposed to the publicly
the bomb he tells you about.
The bomb that he advertises.
That he talks about. Yeah, J5 falling down those stairs. They didn't try to add special effects. They didn't try to make it like dynamic, like R2 when you figure out he can.
J5 is on his way.
Yeah, and just gets to the edge of the stairs
and
then just
falls
and analyzes the stairs with his robot vision, and then just clunks down.
Just tumbles down
over and over again. I did laugh out loud. Just the visual.
He's relying on his washing machine robot here because he built that robot out of an old school washing machine,
which has no electronics in it.
Not a new school washing machine that we all know and love.
That could easily be made into a robot.
Yeah.
Today's
this is an old school.
And actually, it already is a robot. It's a robot that washes clothes.
Right.
There aren't little people inside.
Well, there's not. There was an R2.
Unless you put them. Yeah, Kenny Baker.
Yes. The previously mentioned Kenny Baker. J5 arrived.
Yeah.
And helps him escape from the tank.
Oh, but Daryl does explain that like he's been programmed to so he can somewhat think.
Yeah,
J5.
he's got some rudimentary AI going on, yeah.
So
very rudimentary.
When
a pom-pom for a head. iRobot was based on this.
When I watched this movie twice within the last 12 hours, and both times when J5 busts through the wall and then falls over like 7 feet from where our heroes are waiting to be rescued, it made me laugh both times.
Yeah,
me too.
When he falls down and J5 gets up again. But then
you're never going to keep him down.
What? Who was it that was tied up? Was it Robin?
It was
Givens?
Kimberly. Yes, it was
Kimberly
and Stone.
And Stone.
Kimberly
and Stone.
So
attorneys at law.
So J5 is
I was
rolling.
thinking the smooth sounds of.
Oh yeah, that's even better.
J5 is rolling towards the lottery tank that is filling up with water. And she shouts out, J5! And he turns around to not look at them anymore and like starts rolling towards him, towards her. I'm sorry, towards Kimberly. And then Kimberly says, save them. Do something. Save them. And then he has to take time to reprocess and turn back around.
Oh, yes.
Turn back to the tank.
J5 was really into Kimberly. He would later turn into Skynet.
So this is twice in this movie that J5 has responded to commands from people other than
That's what I'm saying. It has that sophisticated of a.
It was at first his brother Kevin, and then now Kimberly.
Yeah,
that is true.
The inevitable end would be him taking over.
Yes,
destroying.
Yes,
and turning us all into batteries to power the Matrix.
So Daryl like took the forethought. It's like, no, don't just listen to me. Listen to my friends as well.
Right.
Yes.
In programming this washing machine,
J5's like, we did not jump her into the gang. I don't think we can trust her.
So they're
then the glass is breakable.
The glass becomes breakable
from the outside.
From the outside, yeah.
Well, no, J5 drills in and then they
break through.
They break it because the water.
He drills two holes for the pee joke.
For the pee joke. Yes, another pee joke. This is all.
But it was not
all
expelling
hail
water
the
fast
penis.
enough.
All hail the pee joke.
So they get free, but they can't unlock Kimberly or Stone.
Didn't the same thing happen in The Rocketeer? Somebody's trapped in water and there's like a hole poked through it.
Oh.
Was there? No. That was in
that was in
the Shadow.
The Shadow.
The Shadow, but he breathes through it.
He breathes through the hole. I'm just thinking of this right
right
now. All that pressure
that
probably
dude.
would have blown his eardrums out.
Oh, for sure.
Because I was like, why didn't they do that? And then I realized that would probably kill you.
Yes.
Push your eardrums out your mouth or something.
Yeah, totally.
But Daryl had a funny line of like, this tank isn't half full, it's half empty.
Not your eardrums out your mouth, but they are very fragile.
They are.
Yes, eardrums are very fragile.
They are. They are.
Thank you, doctor.
So
he's dead.
They go looking for the bombs.
Can I go now?
They go looking for the bombs, and they find them in the bathrooms.
Obviously.
In the ladies' room.
The ladies' room, the one place we can't go.
That was funny.
That was a funny joke. Blankman stuffs the explosives inside J5 and sends him out to the street while he and Kevin run to free Kimberly, while letting Stone believe the building is going to blow.
Because, well, actually, I was about to make a joke, but I guess those like 1940s Maytag, I bet they could contain a bomb.
Well,
I'm sure they were just thick lead.
The size of that explosion was not going to blow up that building.
No, it was not at all.
It was barely going to blow up the bathroom.
So his surprise bomb was not a bomb. That's a surprise.
So they run to free Kimberly, and Kimberly says something like, "No, save yourselves."
Yeah.
And he says, "Okay, cool, bye."
Starts running away
and runs away, and then he runs back and he says, "That's a blank joke."
Blank joke.
They arrive outside with J5, who is destroyed when the bomb goes off. Blankman vows revenge. They find Manelli's hideout somehow. I love.
Okay,
they put a lampshade on it.
Right. So it's his sort of office lair, and there's the carpet and the desk and the big portrait. But then the rest of it is some sort of plant or factory. Or...
There's all those. It's a warehouse, maybe.
It was industrial zoning.
Which
what is his business?
either or would
What
make
does he
sense.
do?
Like if it was his, plant where his evil plans are hatched.
But does
or
he live
his
there?
room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And something else I noticed, the big giant portrait of him, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
He's wearing the outfit that he's wearing.
Oh my God. That's all he owns?
I'm wondering, or if he has a portrait for every outfit, every satin outfit.
Or he has a million of
He's
that
like, I'm wearing my emerald green one today. Put that portrait up.
Was it just finished?
Yeah, they just did it in the warehouse. He's like, you guys fill those barrels with hydrochloric acid.
Red Skull.
You guys
keep painting.
You keep painting. You guys pack the gold in the crates. You guys start the machinery.
He's ready to win, so he's already getting his portrait done. Yeah.
I need you to collect all these pool noodles
for the Evil Guys Hall of Fame.
That's Red Skull does. Red Skull does the same thing at the end of Captain America.
Yeah, he's getting
his
a
portrait
portrait.
painted
That's
while Germany is collapsing.
It's a great show of vanity.
For his mob boss library.
Yeah, that's in Yorba Linda, California.
Wait, is that next to the Nixon Library?
Oh, right next.
Kevin.
Right next.
Right.
Oh, it's inside it, actually.
Yeah.
It's in the basement.
All great villains.
They arrive for the final showdown. Kevin gets shot immediately. Blankman battles Manelli's men.
Like it's shot.
Yeah.
Like in the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
into a pile of trash.
Luckily, he falls down into that pile of pool noodles.
Oh yeah, pool noodles.
Pool noodles. So many pool noodles.
That's what
with the pool
he's in
noodles.
the business of making pool noodles. That's what his
and
crime
he doesn't have
syndicate
strength. Yeah, that's how he does. Yeah, that's right. That's true.
is.
He didn't have the foresight to make his brother's costume bulletproof.
Yeah.
Karate
Right.
guy.
Exactly.
To
But he
make
made the costume.
Karate Man's costume. I guess karate. If you know karate, you don't need bulletproof.
No, karate makes you bulletproof.
true.
So Manelli, he takes out Manelli's
Except for
men,
that one guy.
and then delivers Manelli to the police outside, straight into the paddy wagon.
Yeah, so I guess they're finally going to get him on trying to kill Blankman. Like, he's an arch criminal.
Right?
Like, finally, something that'll stick.
Yeah, like
The pool noodle magnate taken down by Blankman. Tonight at 9 o'clock.
And they were painted to look like pipes or cables or something.
they were
but-
all black and silver.
I know, but everyone was picking, I know nobody had super strength.
Yeah.
But it was not just something that Blankman was using.
Yeah.
Like, the
Yeah.
henchmen would take a big rolled up bunch of them and
Just a pool party.
swat each other. So it's just like, those are not cables. They're not rods.
Is this just a pool party?
Yeah, they're supposed to be pool noodles. Okay.
Blankman gets an award
But
for
they're probably off brand. Just the original were called
pool noodles.
noodles.
They're made by Robert Noodle.
Yes, exactly. Not a product name.
Blankman gets an award from the new mayor. And then later, Kevin introduces Daryl to Kimberly in his street clothes, only to find she recognizes him. They kiss.
No.
And we fade out as he heroically comes in his pants.
Yep. Heroically.
And we do the fucking crane lift.
Star wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
With
it is
him
a lift.
on his on his side, fetal position, orgasming.
Just nutting.
As the movie ends.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not bulletproof inside.
I said it before. I watched this movie twice.
Yes.
In the last 12 hours, and both times, that's how it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With him heroically coming in his pants.
I bet that was one of the. Yeah, I bet it tested through the roof with 12-year-olds.
I bet it did. Yeah, that's Blankman.
I believe that was only the third time he has orgasmed in his life.
I
don't believe
we
anything.
saw each subsequent orgasm in this movie.
Does that mean he's a man?
Did we?
now?
Because you said the first time it was just a boner.
No, that was me.
No,
was.
No, I didn't say it was just a boner. I said it was his first boner.
Oh.
But it was also his first orgasm.
Is Blankman like 25?
But then he did it twice more.
His first.
So this was the
boner.
third. This was the third one.
Yeah, he had like a quinceañera to celebrate his first boner. He's becoming a woman.
He would
The
have
bar mitzvah.
if
Yeah,
it hadn't been for the intense circumstances
Nobby
of
Knob.
the crime going on in the background. But
Yeah, I think he's had a boner before. But, well,
My least favorite holiday.
So yeah, Blankman. It was. I can't say I'd call it a good movie, but
It's a Wayans movie.
there was stuff in it that was
Yeah, I laughed.
there was stuff in it that was funny. I feel like the tone was kind of all over the place. Like a lot of the jokes didn't hit that
Right.
should have.
Well, yeah, some were very juvenile, and then some of them were a little more adult. And
I would
so,
say
yeah.
if we were reviewing this movie as teenagers, we probably would have a very different outlook on this. Like, oh, shit's hilarious, man. How many times did we get a tally of how many times he jizzed in his pants?
3.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
3.
Al, yes.
I mean, we are still tallying.
He's watched
that.
it twice. In the last 10, 12
But
hours.
yeah.
No. If I was 14, I definitely would have liked this movie better.
Yeah.
But we've watched some movies where beginning to end, I'm just like, ugh, no, nothing really. But this, I chuckled throughout the movie.
There were some really cute
and then
moments.
when J5 fell down the stairs, I laughed out loud. I thought it
The
was,
boys at the
Same
beginning
here.
were really
Same
cute.
Yeah.
Once we started to get their characters developed later on in the movie,
Right.
looking at the beginning because we watched it twice. We watched it right after we finished it. Seeing the beginning, I was like, oh, this is cute. But the
the
still
beginning was
such
very cute.
very much a mess.
Yeah.
I wish that we
yeah.
got more of that art of them too. The title card with Blankman and
yeah.
Karate Man, just
Yeah.
that like a TV Funhouse
The
kind
whole-
of animation.
The
you
whole
know?
blank,
Yeah, like the
whole
Batman show.
the whole Blankman symbol thing that would come up like the bat symbol to like change the scene. That was
yeah,
cute.
I felt like we could have used a little bit more of that stuff in the movie. Maybe a little bit
Right.
more like alluding to a fake comic book, maybe or something.
The problem was the tone being so uneven because
Yeah.
sometimes it was just like very parody like and it was very funny, and then other times they were almost trying to play it more seriously and have the comedy be a little less broad. And
I feel like they could have embraced them being a comic book movie more, even though there's no comic. Faking that.
And I wonder if it, happened in board meetings. But you're right. Sometimes they seem like they're going to lean into the campy comic booky, and then they don't quite.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, yeah. Sometimes they're embracing it, and sometimes they're like
not.
He's just a guy with no powers. He's just a goofy guy, and his brother.
Sorry, folks. Tecate virus.
Sorry. Yeah, and it really goes back and forth a lot.
So I was watching the credits as we do. The special effects were not done by a company, just 6 guys.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
special effects, and then just 6 dudes' names. That's perfect.
Well, because I mean, like the special effects are what?
J5.
J5.
I mean, they're all practical.
The water.
Yeah, they're all practical
springing from the
effects. Yeah,
holes. Those
certainly.
kinds of
Right,
things.
yeah.
So it's
No, it wasn't surprising, but it was
Yeah.
just funny, like,
There weren't a ton of practical.
because even on low budget movies, they'll give their company a name,
Yeah.
even if
Yeah.
it's a couple guys.
Yeah, well, it just probably saves you like insurance.
Yes,
costs
and
things like that.
LLC,
I mean, there was some pyro in this movie, so there were.
There was an explosion or two.
Yeah, those 6 guys.
Oh, the bank explosion was a big one.
Yeah, the bank explosion, the gunshots. There were a couple of things that required a full team of 6
for sure.
Yeah. So.
But they must be all lone wolves because they didn't form a band.
They're like we'll work together this one time.
We're putting together a crew.
Then they got rid of that one guy and they started making burgers. 5 guys.
Yep.
So we've got to rank this thing, guys.
So tag team is the group that does the explainer song at the end.
Yes. Yeah.
And they dropped the evil that men do line from Julius Caesar. I was like, ooh.
Hey.
They're not just whoop. There it is.
Or they were all honorable men. Honorable men.
Yes. I do not come to praise Caesar. I come to bury him. Whoop. There it is.
I showed June the scene of Shatner doing Julius Caesar.
Oh, from Free Enterprise?
Free Enterprise.
Yeah.
And he was like, what the fuck is this?
Honorable men.
I love that.
Honorable men.
They are honorable men.
Honorable men.
Brian, have you seen Free Enterprise, Brian?
No.
Shatner,
It's a charming little movie.
Shatner does a hip hop version of the Julius Caesar speech.
Well, he plays himself, and he has this crazy idea to put on Julius Caesar, but he plays all the characters in it. And so these fans of except for Calpurnia,
yes,
with the cow. Yes.
Because that would be ridiculous.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So he suggests Heather Locklear.
So this isn't
from Return of Swamp Thing.
Is this the plot of this entire film?
No, the plot of the film is 2 Star Trek fanboys finally get to meet Shatner and then get to know him. So the plot is really about hero worship and but yeah, so he has this kooky idea that he wants to get financed.
And these guys are into it.
And Shatner plays.
No, they're not.
Yeah, Shatner plays
They're
himself in a
God,
very
he's insane.
kooky way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And he does that so well. He parodies himself all the time on social media.
But he gets these rappers to sort of get on board with the project, and it's funny because the rappers know him as T.J. Hooker. They're like, "What up, Hooker?"
That's
They're slapping
funny.
it. Yeah, he's like,
Oh
"I'm
my
somebody else to everybody," kind of thing.
That's amazing.
I'm not their captain because he keeps striking out with women. Just give him that Captain Kirk. I'm not their captain.
Getting back to the ranking of Blankman.
Yes. So
Who the fuck cares? Getting back to that. He got
that was a refreshing sidebar.
Was it? It's not as good as leaving the room.
No, that was quite refreshing.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so
go ahead, Al. Knock yourself out.
Free Enterprise.
Rank it.
So, all right, we've got to put this on the list.
Is it better than Meteor Man?
Oh yeah,
Because there's a lot of comparisons to Meteor Man.
I think it is.
I think it's absolutely better than Meteor Man.
There are things that don't work, but the things that do worked better than in Meteor.
Above Meteor Man, we have Supergirl. Is it better than Supergirl? I think
No.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I think it might be personally.
It might be.
What's above Supergirl?
You're right.
I just wanted to throw it out.
Like script and story wise, it might be. I don't know if it was a better production.
No. Oh God, no. It was not a better production. Absolutely not. Supergirl was a better crafted film as far as like that goes, production.
And there were a lot of dudes in colorful sweaters in this, just like Peter O'Toole's colorful sweater.
There's a lot of comparisons
because
to
there were
Supergirl,
like
now that I'm
colorful
looking at it.
sweaters was just a thing in the early 90s.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, okay, so
the DAG didn't necessarily have a colorful sweater, but it was still dope.
The DAG?
David Alan Grier.
oh,
Yeah, he had one. But then he was talking to another guy at the station who worked in the room with Kim, and he worked down in the basement. But that guy also had a Fierce Cosby sweater on.
Yeah.
So okay, all right. So I think we're looking somewhere. It's definitely better than TMNT 2, which is below Meteor Man. I think it's better than Meteor Man. I think we're all fairly agreed on that. Above Supergirl, we have The Return of Swamp Thing.
It's better
Nope.
than that. No.
I think it's better than that.
Yeah, I would say it's better than that. I mean,
The Heather Locklear.
Okay, cool.
yeah, Heather Locklear was the redeeming feature of that.
Yeah, I mean, we know what we liked about it, but everyone was winking and nodding in Return of Something.
Above that, we have Buffy. I
Nope.
It's not better
don't
than Buffy.
think it's better than
No
Buffy.
way.
Nope.
No.
So do we want to put it? Okay, where do we want to put it in relation to Supergirl and Swamp Thing? Return to Swamp Thing.
I don't know, in a lead box.
Do we want to put it? Do we want to stick it in between them? Maybe
I could be okay with that, and not that it's going to
Nothing
affect
hurts
the rest of my
more
life.
than this part of the
right?
show.
Yeah.
Josh is so unengaged with this. Like, I don't care.
And I don't mean to be a dick. I'm not trying to be like, "Ugh." But
This is important, Josh. We need you to take this seriously.
It sure feels like it is. I'll tell you that.
Then we're doing something right.
Yeah.
Okay, so not as good as Buffy.
Oh, definitely not.
No.
I heard two people say better than
I could
Return
say-
of Swamp Thing.
I'm fine. Okay.
I like it between Swamp Thing and Supergirl. That
Yeah,
makes sense to
me
me.
too.
Okay, yeah.
Can we all live with that?
No,
Yeah,
little-
I can live with
little
that.
swampy.
How is this going to keep us up at night?
I can go home to my wife and kids and tell them I put Swamp Thing above.
You can tell your wife and
Blankman.
kids.
Blankman.
And your wife will leave you.
She probably will.
All right.
But it's okay.
I'm putting it in. I put in Blankman in between Swamp Thing, Return to Swamp Thing, and Supergirl.
At number 15.
At number
currently,
15.
Currently at number 15.
At number
right.
15. The halfway point. It's
But
the
is it-
median.
it is. It's
Blankman
the
is our
median.
Oh, wow.
It's
You know?
So remember all those weeks when we talked about the halfway point and it was Supergirl?
Yeah.
And now it's going to be Blankman.
Yes.
Yeah, and we
Let's
should-
talk about the halfway point.
We should do a Swamp
Blankman.
thing with it and just keep it. There's rising in the ranks.
There's 14
And
above
being
it, 14 below it.
immovable. Good Lord. Yeah, but you know what? Yeah. With the amount of superhero movies, and then they are getting a little better. The Crow, The Mask, we didn't have a lot, but yeah, I guess this is middle of the road.
It is. It really is.
This was really fun. It was tongue in cheek. It didn't take itself seriously. Obviously,
Yeah.
it didn't take itself seriously. But it took it. It did a little bit.
Well, it had
to,
a lot
to
of
the right
tropes.
amount.
It had a
Yeah.
lot of tropes. Somebody
Yeah.
dies, that's a call.
Yeah.
You know, the unlikely
yeah.
hero. But also, it didn't do the bullshit of like, here are a bunch of powers we're not going to explain
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
you.
No.
Which
no.
wasn't just in Meteor Man, it was in the shadow. It's been in a lot of things. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, he can do that. They didn't mess with that
The
shit.
not having the powers was a good
Or a man
idea.
from another place.
Yeah.
Or any
Really
of that.
well.
Yeah.
It was more of a Batman thing where this guy just knows how to make stuff.
Yeah. But he's broke.
And
He's capable.
even better than Batman because Batman didn't make the stuff. He made people make the stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if Batman ever sees a woman giving birth, he's like, not my thing.
It's like I'm out.
He's like, do you see these on my gloves?
Throws a
These are
smoke
the
bomb and
opposite
just
of an
disappears.
OBGYN droid.
Like, do you want me to stick my hand up in there? You don't.
It's never coming
Yeah,
out.
if I
It's a
pull it
fish
out,
hook.
it's bad news. Your baby's dead, man.
It's like a fish hook.
At this point in his life, Bruce Wayne has had way more than 3 orgasms.
I would hope
I
so.
don't know.
I
Or
mean,
they're angry. I don't know that.
But he's like paid.
Oh,
Yeah.
everyone.
God damn it! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Yeah, I know. He considers it a weakness. His boners.
When
were
I finally
intentional.
catch the
Yeah.
man who killed my parents.
It's like
then and only then.
he yells at us, "I hate you, penis! I hate you!"
He's talking
The
into
only
his
thing I
belt buckle
can't strike
also.
terror into.
He's like, "Yes."
I am. Never mind.
All right. Next week.
More.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Next
What
week.
is next week?
The Phantom?
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers,
God.
the movie.
My mom is
yeah.
going to be so pissed.
I don't know anything about
This was a recent
I
addition
knew-
to our list.
It wasn't in at the beginning. I looked into a lot of stuff. They're superheroes. They are
they
just
are.
Oh, I'm sure they
superheroes.
are, yeah.
And it's a movie. It was theatrically released. It's on our list.
A movie
Well,
I
they're
was
more
not allowed
superhero
to
than
see
The
as
Shadow.
a child.
There-
I'm so excited.
There's a lot. There is going to be a lot to unpack about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as a franchise.
Yeah, I don't know much. But when they were popular, Cody was really into them. So I've seen some of it, but I never understood
Yeah.
any of it.
There's a lot going on.
I still am not sure what they morph into.
They were mighty. They morphed.
Yeah, says you.
Well,
No, I know. I know they did. What? But something like Transformers.
yeah, I don't know.
They're
Well,
rangers that have some sort of powers.
Oh, the Rangers. Yeah,
had,
that's
like,
not.
they
don't work
range
for the
across the land.
Not the National Park Service.
They have magical animal mech suits.
They didn't.
Our power doesn't stretch past Yellowstone.
They didn't personally morph. like
I see. Just their attitudes.
Yeah,
and political views.
No, not even
They're little,
not
like,
even their
cell
attitudes. Their
phones
attitudes
turned
pretty much
into-
stayed the same. They didn't change shape. They just they had vehicles that changed, that morphed, that changed shapes.
Christ.
Hey, no, I don't know. I don't
You're
know.
spitballing?
I don't know.
listened to
I don't
your
know
ideas
as
just
much
now?
as much as
I thought you were
know.
explaining something.
He is
to
correct.
me.
It's a Voltron situation. It's a Voltron situation.
It's
You were
basically Voltron.
freestyling?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, that's a talk for another time.
We will
So yeah, that's
get
it.
into that next week.
Next week. If you want, we can just leave everything set up, and you can just go for a while.
We'll be right back in.
All right. So
I thought you were explaining something. They were theories.
Usually you don't listen when I explain things.
Well, I listened.
all right. So everybody, next week
agree.
we will see you. We will talk about the Power Rangers.
God.
This is Throw Smiley. I am not a virgin. I'm a gentleman.
And I'm Josh CC, and ratings give me a Woody.
I'm Brian Lesh, and the rest of you ain't shit.
I'm Alaric Weber. Jump on. There's a speed train right behind me.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Harmless Phosphorescence was brought to you by executive producer Atticus Burkett, producers Michael Beckwith, Jojo Birchtree, Hedda Paulson, Kirsten Reed and Alyssa Dent, and Katie and Finn Thorpe. Make sure to rate and review us on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Harmless Phosphorescence is a part of the Harmless Entertainment Network. Become a patron at patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. Thank you for listening.